Hey everyone, Fallout here, and today I'm going to do another summary of Luke Smith's Director's Cut Part 2. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Luke Smith is Bungie's game director who has been writing a gigantic state of the game type report in preparation for Shadowkeep. Again, this is Part 2, and we believe that Part 3 will either be released on Friday, August 16th, or maybe sometime early next week. If you missed the first video summarizing Part 1, there will be a link below in the video description. Okay, here we go. Recap of Part 2. And do me a favor, click like on this video, will ya? All this summarizing is time-consuming. I mean, you don't have to, but I do appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Luke begins by saying that this fall is a necessary first step in turning Destiny 2 into the game Bungie wants it to be. Quickly recapping the past year, Bungie ditched Activision and assumed control of Destiny, and when that happened, they wanted to get something into the hands of the player base that was new as quickly as they could, which apparently is what Shadowkeep is. Bungie is pairing Shadowkeep with a free entry point, which we all know, called Destiny New Light, to welcome new Guardians into the game. Bungie wanted to bring Destiny 2 to new platforms to keep heading towards the whole you can play Destiny anywhere goal, referring to Steam and Google Stadia. Bungie is taking the initial steps towards building Destiny as a single evolving world. And they're doing all of this while cranking out a bunch of the system changes that they've talked about and will continue to talk about heading into Shadowkeep. Moving on to the first big chunk of text called The Care and Feeding of the RPG. Add depth, improve customization. Before diving into that though, Luke quickly sidetracks, wanting to clarify a little bit about microtransactions in Destiny, which he feels he wasn't super clear about in Director's Cut Part 1. He clarifies Destiny has and will continue to have weapons, armor, ghosts, ships, sparrows, and shaders that you will earn from activities to prove to other players looking at you that yeah, you did the thing required to earn that reward. You beat the raid, you did this, you did that, and you got your reward. According to him, that is not changing. What Bungie is doing with the new armor system is saying, find the perks that you want, find the look that you want, and pursue that armor to get the elements and stats you want and combine them to make your Guardian. Destiny also has a microtransaction store that is home to things like sparrows, ships, emotes, ghost holograms, weapon, and universal ornaments. The items in that store rotate and can be bought with silver or bright dust, and again, reminder from Luke that bright dust is another in-game currency that you can earn by completing bounties instead of buying a bunch of engrams and sharding them to make dust. In Shadowkeep, there will be armor sets, weapons, ghosts, ships, and sparrows coming from the destinations and the activities. With that sidetrack out of the way, Luke gets back on track, talking about armor, saying they want to give people who love the RPG aspect of Destiny more stats and more depth. They want to give players control over how they look, and for armor to have a deep pursuit factor. He quickly recaps yesterday's Armor 2.0 stream from Bungie HQ. In short, armor now has an energy meter ranging from 1 to 10. You can use materials and currency to level up the energy value on a given piece of armor. Mods have both an energy cost and an elemental affinity. In order for a mod to be equipped, your armor needs to have rolled the correct element and have enough energy available. Example, your hand cannon reloader costs 3 void energy to equip, so your armor must have rolled void, and you must have 3 energy available in order to use it. When you get a mod in-game, it's like getting a perk that you can put on all armor. So if you've found Enhanced Hand Cannon Reloader from a pinnacle activity, you can socket that mod into any new armor that meets its criteria. And again, the mod is not consumed when you use it, i.e., unlimited mod use. Luke clarifies that here are the elements of armor that can roll randomly. Elemental affinity rolls between Solar, Arc, and Void. Armor's starting energy value can roll randomly as well, but they can all be leveled up to 10, and stats will all roll random values, and by stats, they mean intellect, discipline, strength, mobility, resilience, and recovery. Luke mentions that currently in D2, the base recharge rates at which your abilities recharge will be the same thing as a stat value of 30 in the new Armor 2.0 system. So the baseline recharge time today is a value of 30 in the new Shadowkeep system. With good stat RNG on your armor, you can get a fast recharge rate without needing to use mods. It will be possible to get a 100 level intellect build without socketing even one mod. He confirms that that could come with a price though. Putting too much effort into one stat will likely result in having to make trade-offs for other stats. Continuing with armor, Luke confirms that every legendary armor drop moving forward in Shadowkeep will be able to utilize the Armor 2.0 system. Even if that armor is from old activities, you can get a new piece of that armor and it will be 2.0 ready. Many current armor mods will not work in the new Armor 2.0 system, but they don't plan on erasing those mods from character vaults at this time. You can still use those mods, but only by wearing old Armor 1.0 gear, which again, Bungie has no plans on deleting. Cooldown durations will change as the new system gets brought into the game, and you'll be able to see the cooldown timers of your legacy armor when the Shadowkeep patch goes live, thank God. Luke believes that when Shadowkeep first drops, a lot of hardcore players will likely continue using their God-rolled 1.0 armor sets if they happen to be fully kitted out with the hottest rolls. The more time that we, the players, spend in Shadowkeep though, it's more and more likely that we will begin to acquire the super hot fire Shadowkeep armor mods and slowly will transition over to building new full sets of 2.0 armor. In short, there will still definitely be a use for all current God roll armor sets that you may have collected up until now. If you're a new player though, or if you have a bunch of terrible non-God rolled armor at the moment that you don't care about, the transition to building your 2.0 armor set will likely happen much faster. Ultimately, they want the speed at which you transition to Armor System 2.0 to be your choice. Next big chunk of text, the pursuit of power, increasing player agency. Bungie wants the act of chasing power and stats for your build to be something that you, the player, have more control over. Luke admits they've had a long-standing challenge in Destiny of making XP matter, and that feels like a real growth opportunity for Bungie to do new things. Carrying on, Luke mentions that the number of powerful sources in D2 exploded during the annual pass, and they're working on curating down the sources available in Shadowkeep. Bungie's goal is to get the number of powerful sources closer to what it was at Forsaken launch. In Shadowkeep, the new system will advertise a consistent expected powerful reward regardless of your power relative to it. The team at Bungie feels that reaching max power can be a medium-term goal for most players. On the subject of prime engrams, they'll begin dropping once you hit power level 900, and you'll accumulate changes to them as you make your way from power level 750 to level 900. They're increasing the number of prime engrams you can earn in a given week and rebalanced the value of each one to account for the increase in volume. For world drops, Luke admits they often feel like a waste. To get away from that, Bungie is making changes that allow these drops to help players progress beyond the soft cap. World drops in Shadowkeep will have a chance to drop at a player's current power level. They're making that change because they feel the world legendaries are too undervalued right now. On the subject of preparing for new light, Luke makes it clear that one of their key goals at Bungie is eliminating barriers between friends. One of those barriers, he feels, is power level. Bungie dislikes the idea of having friends not be able to play together right away due to large differences in power level. In short, it would suck if you convinced a friend to pick up Destiny, then said, yeah, I'll play with you in 100 hours when you finally get your power level up and get caught up to where I am. They don't want that to be a thing in New Light, again with their ultimate goal of blueberries and veterans being able to play together quickly. In order to reach that goal, Bungie is officially setting the power level this fall to 750 for both returning and brand new players. I will repeat, they are setting the power level in October to 750 for everyone, meaning every single item in your character and in your vault is being raised to a power floor of 750 when Shadowkeep and New Light launch. Everything you have getting kicked up to 750. Because Bungie is doing this, Luke goes on to strongly recommend that starting right now, all players stop spending materials and in-game currency to infuse or level up your gear or weapons. Hoard your materials now, because again, in October, everything will be equalized at 750. Moving on, Luke admits that raising the power of every player globally is indicative of a greater problem within Destiny. It's admittedly weird that somewhere out there a new player will hop into Destiny for the very first time and begin at power level 750. Luke gives a brief history of the role of power level, or light level, from D1 over the years. At the launch of D2, Bungie shortened the power climb, oversimplified the game, made it too easy to get items, focused on bringing new players in, and hoped that players would, quote, pursue looks alone as their endgame. And side note, wow, wildly ballsy move for Luke to come out and admit that, and props to him for also openly admitting, hey, they were wrong about that. During that period, they made it so players didn't need to raid or play Nightfalls to reach max power, and over the course of the year, the number of powerful sources continued to rise. In Shadowkeep, Bungie is going to attempt to do some things differently on that front. First of all, they are introducing a seasonal artifact, which will be unique and thematic to each season. As your artifact levels up, it can do a few things. It becomes a source of seasonal artifact mods, which apparently are unique mods that can be equipped only during that artifact's season. And second, the seasonal artifact can award players a power bonus, but that bonus is not applied to gear, but instead to all your characters. That is meant to give players who can't or don't want to play pinnacle activities a seasonal path to power. So even if a player doesn't want to raid, doesn't want to play Iron Banner, or other activities they have yet to announce, they still have a high power value for that season. Each season there will be a new artifact with new mods that change how you play, and the power bonus will reset. In addition to curating the big list of powerful sources, Shadowkeep will introduce pinnacle powerful sources. These sources, Luke clarifies, are the only way to earn gear drops above the power level of 950. Again, the only way to earn gear above 950. Their goal with this is to bring back that feel of Destiny 1, where you inspect a player, see they are maybe 960, and you know right away that they have done a bunch of pinnacle activities. Luke also confirms that as you raise your power level via pinnacle activities, other powerful reward sites will continue to drop powerful side grades. Wrapping things up, Luke admits that power in D2 is still an imperfect system. They're making tweaks with things like seasonal power bonuses and pinnacle activities, but looking to the future beyond Shadowkeep, Bungie feels like the power system may benefit from an eventual rework. He concludes telling everyone to stay tuned to the third and final installment of his director's cut, which will focus on the action part of the MMO action game, aka combat and PvP, with a bonus section on the evolving world of Destiny. And that is it. Again, a lot of information, the craziest parts to me being everyone getting a 750 power level boost in October, and just being able to play with new players in that regard on day one. Anyway, I won't make this video longer than I have to, so if you want to talk about the gut reaction thoughts you have to part 2 of the Luke Smith diaries, let's have a conversation about that down below in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.